As we promised you, tonight we host Embakasi East Member of Parliament, that is Babu Owino. He is already here on set. Mheshimiwa, welcome to our studios. I think it is your first time here.
Yeah, this is my first time here, my brother. Yeah.
Karibu sana.
It's amazing. And the last time I left you somewhere, I see that you are poached.
Yes.
You're doing an amazing work.
Asante sana.
Yes.
Thank you, Mhesh. How was your day today?
Top of the world. I'm a happy man. I can't complain.
Okay.
Because of what is happening in the nation. At least people have noticed, the Gen Zs have noticed that indeed they are the owners of this country. Yes, and that's what makes me happy. Way back from the university, it makes me happy because at least I know that I can mentor. And they were seeing how we were good at street activities when I was at the university.
Yeah.
And indeed, now they're even better than their mentor.
They're better than
Yeah.
You said that, it is going to be an interesting type of protests. You call it the grandmother of protests.
Yes.
And it was quite an interesting statement that received quite some divergent feedback. Why did you come up with the word grandmother of protests?
Normally we always organize a mother of protests, demonstrations, but this one is a unique type of protest because this is a protest that is coming from within Kenyans. It is something that is being brought up passionately because of the challenges that Kenyans are facing, the challenges that the Gen Zs are facing, from high cost of living to the draconian finance bill, to corruption, to any dirt in the government. And they're executing it so intelligently, with a lot of passion and energy, and with a lot of acumen. The political acumen, actually, to its precision. So it is something that is big, and it is something that is a grandmother, not just a mother, but a grandmother of all the demonstrations. So to me, I'm a happy man today.
And a video went viral of you inviting Kenyans to Parliament tomorrow.
Yes.
Will the gates be opened?
Definitely, if they are not opened, I'll open the gates for them. Why? Because Parliament is a public place. And let these Kenyans, let the Gen Zs come and see where they took their leaders, why are leaders scared of meeting their people. We are public officers. We are meant to work for the public. And our people should come and see where they took us. So they should come to Parliament, and in fact, I will open for them the gate. And I can see that tomorrow the Kenya Kwanza MPs are planning to celebrate. They've bought so many mbusis in Parliament, and they've bought so many rice and flour there. They are waiting to celebrate after they pass the bill. And I can tell you that Kenyans should come there. I will open for them the main gate. I will open for them the kitchen. And they should not forget, the Gen Z should carry tumblers. I will provide ice cubes and also lemon. And we'll open another door for them. There is also another place there where they can also have fun. So it is not a problem if Kenyans come to Parliament. It is a public place. They should come, and they should see where the draconian bill, finance bill, is being passed.
But do you think they will be allowed? You're just inviting them?
It's not them being allowed. They are more than those who will not disallow them.
Okay.
Yeah, they are more than those who will not disallow them. We have only a total of 100,000 police officers in Kenya. With that, Kenyans are 55 million. So if you can see a ratio of a police officer to Kenyans, you can't even compare. So Kenyans are more than the police officers. So it is not about being allowed. They should allow themselves inside Parliament. That is their Parliament. And the members of Parliament who are there are earning because of the Kenyans who are paying taxes. So generally, they should come there confidently. Yes.
Brilliant. And so, Azimio, you had a PG meeting today.
Yes.
And one of the things you decided is that you will not be, members agreed to drop all the amendments. Why is that?
Passing if there are a total of around 70 amendments that have been prepared.
Yes.
Some members were from Azimio, some from Kenya Kwanza. But we did advise them that they should drop these amendments because the moment your amendment is already worked on, corrected for that matter, then it means that you should vote yes for this bill. But you see, we don't want anything to do with this bill. It is not our bill. We should not amend a bill that is not coming from the Azimio side. It is a bill that is coming from the government. So we can't amend their bill, right? So we want all members of parliament to reject this bill in totality. And actually, this is a call to our fellow members of parliament. This is a last call to them, that it is an opportunity for them to make that which they made wrong last Saturday, the Kenya Kwanza members of parliament. I know they are in fear. I know they are being coerced. They are under duress. They are under undue influence from their bosses. And I can tell them that this is a last opportunity. The only boss that we recognize in this nation are the people. The Constitution states in Article 1 that the power vests with the people. Sovereignty rests with the people. And therefore, the people are their bosses. So they should make that which they made wrong last week, they should make it right tomorrow by voting no, by rejecting the finance bill in totality without the amendments. Let us reject it, and the moment it is rejected, I can for sure tell you that they will be safe. But if they proceed boasting with a lot of megalomania and ego, too much ego, then I can tell you they are themselves, they are drafting, they are the authors of their own political epitaph. I can tell you they will go into political oblivion, which is the entombment of the unworthy into their own dust of nothingness. And from tomorrow they will be done, they will be finished, they will be crushed. So tomorrow is the last chance for members of parliament to make it right. Do not play to the tune of your boss. Your boss is the common mwananchi, not the president.
Okay. So ideally, you know, Kenyans, of course, the Gen Zs especially have asked and called on members to reject the finance bill. You're also calling for that. And this, at the end of the day, will be subjected to a vote. Does Azimio or does your party, does your coalition have the numbers to marshal up and convince even those on the other side, on the other floor of the House, to be able to vote no?
You know, Kenyans have spoken.
Okay.
So it's not about the numbers on the floor of the House. The 55 million Kenyans have spoken. Even in the constituencies where those members voted yes, you've been seeing Kenyans have been occupying their offices. You've been seeing how Kenyans have been communicating to them. And if those Kenyans have already said no through a public participation in the streets, then who are the members of parliament to say no? If the Kenyans that you are purporting to be making a law for a Kenyan who tells you that I don't want that law. So why are you making that law for that Kenyan who is not ready to consume that law? Therefore, you should drop it, and you should listen to the people who are telling you no. Because why is the president in a rush to pass a finance bill and wants to assent to it in the name of I want to work for the same Kenyans who are demonstrating, who don't want the same bill? Why are you forcing them with the bill that they don't want? So therefore, that bill, it is so clear. It is not about how many numbers do we have. The last time we voted 115 no, 204 voted yes, because of undue influence, because of they were under duress.
Yes.
They were being coerced. They were being forced. And I can tell the president that this is over. The moment this bill will pass tomorrow, the first thing that we will do personally as Babu Owino, I'm going to move to court, because this bill is being passed through coercion of members of parliament from Kenya Kwanza government. This bill is being passed fraudulently. This is a fraud. This is where the president is bribing members of parliament from the Kenya Kwanza side to pass a bill. And that bill, we will go to court. Once the president assents to it, once it becomes an act, we will go to court to stop it ab initio, to stop the implementation of that bill to the extent to which it is inconsistent to the Constitution of Kenya, to the natural laws and justice, to the Grundnorm. And therefore, this must be stopped.
Must be stopped. So ideally, if this bill is dropped rejected and then dropped. Ideally, what should happen by law, and what can members of parliament do? Because the government has argued that this shall be used to finance the budget, right? So if it is dropped, if it is abolished, what ideally should Kenyans expect?
Number one, the law does not act in a vacuum, right? Number two, the finance bill of any subsequent year, it's an appendage, it's an amendment of a previous act.
Yes.
Previous finance bill, finance act, sorry.
Yes.
So if being an amendment, it means that the moment this is suspended, nothing will cease working. We will use the 2023-2024 act, which again is so oppressive. And once Kenyans finish with this 2024-2025, let us revisit the 2023-2024 so that we make things clear once and for all. This is a problem that has been created by the Kenya Kwanza government, and it is a problem that they must take responsibility about it, because no Kenyan wants this. So definitely there will be no vacuum. The law will still operate. So suspend this bill. Go back to Kenyans on the streets. Let the Gen Zs participate in making of a new finance bill. They did not participate. And let it be put there at Jacaranda grounds or in the CBD in town. Let there be public participation there. Among the Gen Zs, we have brilliant people there. We have advocates, we have lawyers, we have doctors, we have comrades who are there, whose intellectual capacities are at optimum. So therefore, the Gen Zs should be directly involved in making a new finance bill. This one, they didn't participate in it. So this one should be fully suspended and a new one be made by them.
By them. Mheshimiwa, you've seen, of course, concerns. The same Gen Z you're talking about are saying they sort of do not want the hand of the politicians, you included, in their protests. What do you have to say about that?
This bill is not about Babu Owino. This bill is not about any activist out there. This bill is about our future. This bill is about our people. This bill is about the high cost of living. This bill is about the unemployment rate in this country. This bill is about the cost of food that will skyrocket. This bill is about the cost of education, the cost of healthcare, the cost of any other good that is good and service that is capable of being exported. I can tell you that this bill is about Kenyans. And therefore, the same way they are saying, you know, people have lost so much trust in politicians.
Yes.
So much trust, because politicians are being elected every electioneering cycle. They promise that they are going to do that which citizens deserve, but they do not deliver. Every now and then, until people have lost hope. This thing has been boiling up, and I can assure you that the Gen Zs who are born from 97 to 2012, this is a unique group that now, in 2013, when Uhuru became the president, a Gen Z who is 27 years now was 15 years then. So there's accumulation of challenges, problems, an amalgamation of so many issues of concern that are affecting citizens of Kenya, from the Gen Zs, to be specific, from when they were 15 years old in 2013, for those who are 27 years now, right? So for 12 good years, there have been challenges that they've been going through. And now they're like a waffle pancake, where now they are blowing out. They are blowing out, okay? So the call that politicians should not be included in this, I highly support. I highly support, because politicians can come with bad motives. I highly support that. Now, as Babu Owino, I will work for my constituents in the same breath about the finance bill. Whether there was going to be this demonstration or not, I was still going to reject this finance bill, because it is oppressive, because it will cause untold sufferings among my constituents and among Kenyans. So either way, I was going to oppose it, I was going to fight it. So as the Gen Zs are doing their thing by the side, Babu Owino is also doing his own thing that is constitutionally allowed for Babu Owino as a member of the opposition and as a person who should keep this government under serious checks and balances, as was opined by Charles Louis de Secondat, Baron de Montesquieu in the 17th century. The work for checks and balances as an opposition member of parliament. So I will proceed with that. The Gen Z should do their thing as they are doing it. Of course, I really love what they are doing. To be honest, if I was not going even to parliament, I would have joined them because I just love what they are doing. And at least, finally, Kenyans have opened their eyes and they've seen and they've known that there are serious challenges that requires all Kenyans, irrespective of the type of a skin color that they have, irrespective of the tribe that they come from, irrespective of the size of any Kenyan in this nation. And they've realized that collectively they can achieve something which is worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the argument that has been is, and it's what even Meshuki from Kirinyaga is saying, but why don't the MPs propose amendments and they have a chance to do so tomorrow during the committee stage of the bill? Don't throw away the baby with bath water.
There is no baby here and there is no bath water here. There is no baby here. That's a dead baby.
Okay.
As we speak, there is no baby to be saved. That finance bill, I can tell you, is going to injure the lives of Kenyans, is going to cause so much discomfiture into the spirits of Kenyans. Why? Because what they want to pass, as I explained some time back, that there's a strategy that the government is using, which is called the maneuver strategy or the decoy strategy, where you bring a finance bill, then bring all the dirty things that you know that one day, after some time, you're going to bring an amendment and drop all of them, but that which you want to pass still passes. So what did the government do? They say that we are adding taxation on sugar, on bread, on diapers, on pads, all those things. Then all of a sudden they call for a press conference in State House, a PR exercise, and they say that we've dropped all this, so therefore these other ones should pass. And I did explain well that the Kenya Kwanza MPs are saying that, you know what, we need to add taxes on imports. Do you know the long-term impact of that? It is very good to add taxes on imports if Kenya as a nation, we are ready with industries, with manufacturing and production that we can produce that which can sustain 55 million Kenyans. But as we speak, our economy is divided into 3 sectors. Number one, the first contributor to it is the service industry. That consists of, number one, insurance, banking, education, health, contributes 65%. Number two, the primary sector, which is agriculture, that contributes 19%. Remember, mark that 19%. Then number three, we have the industry sector, which is manufacturing, construction. Manufacturing alone is 9%. Construction, on the other hand, is 7%. Total of the industry sector is 16%. So if you take 16% and 19%, you get 35%. 35%, that is manufacturing and agriculture, is not sufficient to sustain the lives of the 55 million Kenyans. Therefore, what are we telling Kenyans? That, you know what, if you know Kenya, we depend on 80% of imported goods. 80%. From tissue paper to eggs, 80% we depend on that. Therefore, if Kenyans shall have consumed what is locally produced and finished with it, gets depleted, they shall run to imported goods. When they run to imported goods, because they are demand, they'll demand for more goods. Therefore, they will run to imported goods. They get that the imported goods have higher prices. That price, the cost, the burden of cost will rest on the shoulders of a consumer, of a normal Kenyan. Therefore, if you increase imports and you are not ready to produce that which is sufficient to handle Kenyans, then you are doing nothing. You are still raising the cost of living. So which means that they are promoting what we call foreign absorption. Foreign absorption means that the more we encourage importation of our goods, then our money that should circulate in Kenya will be leaving our country into other countries. At the same time, there will be high cost of living because the costs the prices of those goods that we are consuming from foreign goods are going to be, from imports, are going to be raised.
Yeah.
So that tells you clearly that this government is not ready. A good government should promote industrialization in a country, agriculture in a country. But how do we promote agriculture if even the fertilizer money, you're supplying stones as fertilizer? How do you promote it? That is a problem, right? So therefore, we are not ready to promote agriculture. We are not ready to build more industries in our country. Through those industries, we will spur up economic growth. High demand, high supply. More people will get more jobs. The moment we spur up domestic absorption. Okay?
Yeah, did you deliver these submissions to the committee that you sit in? It's the budget?
I sit in the budget committee.
Yes.
And the budget committee, there is the majority report, there's the majority report, and there's the minority report.
Okay.
If you do not agree with a budget, then you prepare what you call the minority report, which goes before the House, before the floor of the House. And therefore, that minority report, because in budget committee, we are only 12 from Azimio, then Kenya Kwanza, there are 15. So at any single time, they say that if there is any problem, then vote. So they will always be ahead as Kenya Kwanza, as the government. Then they tell you, you can do whatever you want. So what do? You prepare minority report, disagreeing, putting all your views that you disagreed on, and they'll be captured in the Hansard. Okay? So that will be on record. So that is what happens in the committees.
Okay. So then does that mean that we have Parliament does not seem to be serving the interests of Kenyans?
Parliament is not independent. Parliament is dependent on the executive, which is headed by the president. So Parliament purely is on the government side. Why? Because Kenya Kwanza has the majority of members of Parliament, and anytime they say, you guys, you can make noise, you can fight, but let us vote. Anytime we vote, because they bought members of Parliament from the Azimio side, some of them, right, not all, some of them, now they say we vote, and that is how they end up carrying the day. So that is why we are pleased with what is happening with these mandamanos. Very, very pleased, because at least now Kenyans, the Gen Zs, are now feeling the same pain that some of us are feeling in Parliament, because we are there very frustrated, you know. In fact, we should be fighting in that Parliament on a daily basis, because what is being passed there, that is Parliament that is passing laws for individuals, not for posterity.
Okay.
Yes.
Your colleague legislator was speaking to my colleague in our sister station, Radio 47, and saying Parliament should be disbanded. Would you support that?
Parliament is a house for legislation.
Okay.
What should be done in Parliament is cleansing the Parliament, not disbanding the Parliament, because it is one of the arms of the government.
How
right?
do you cleanse? Now,
cleansing Parliament means, number one, we start from the voters, what the Gen Zs, the millennials, and other Kenyans are doing right now. It means that when they're going, some members of Parliament must be recalled. Some members of Parliament must never be re-elected. The moment we make the right choice, then Parliament will do its mandate, which is oversight, legislation, and representation. But as we speak, Parliament is not representing. Parliament is misrepresenting.
So how then can that cure happen, the one that you prescribe?
It is very simple. I said, number one, let there is a recall clause, which states that any member of Parliament can be recalled, can be instituted, right? Number two, there is what we call, in the next electioneering cycle, then the citizens should know and see that this was a bad leader, this leader deserves to go home, should go into political oblivion. This was a good one, this one should be re-elected. But those who are bad should go home. The moment we do that, we will be cleansing Parliament, because we need laws in a nation. So the moment you disband the whole Parliament, then there will be no laws that can be made in a nation, right?
Yeah.
Just the same way, executive needs to be cleansed. That let there be the executive, yes. But what type of a president are we electing? Do they deserve it? Do they have the interest of the people at heart? That is the most important question that should be answered.
Brilliant. As we simmer on that question, we want to take a short commercial break right here on the Daily Report. I see your feedback. Hello, Maringa. This government is really hurting us Kenyans. That bill should be done away with in its entirety. I wish we could have many Babu Owinos in that parliament than others. I mentioned names here I won't mention. God hearers, Mato Nikiwaroi. Thank you so much, Mato, for sending your feedback. Our WhatsApp number is 0793 267 279, 0793 267 279. Go ahead and channel your feedback there, as well as our SMS line 22047. Start with your name, where you're watching us from, as well as your feedback, question or comment regarding the program. I am at George Maringa _ on X. Your handle is?
At HE Babu Owino.
Brilliant. You can go ahead and forward and at channel your question.
Capital H, capital E,
capital H, capital
B, Babu Owino.
Babu Owino. Yes, brilliant. We look forward to engaging with your feedback on this program, but we want to take a short break. When we come back, we still continue to converse on these and other issues right here on the Daily Report. Do stay with us.